Hi, it's Kim, and today we're going to look at the 5 easiest houseplants according to me and my experience. They're in no particular order, so here we go. Now here in front of my, east-facing window, I have the fiddle leaf fig. And we've had this for about 8 months. We got it as a baby last April of 2019. And it's grown very, very tall since then. I would estimate it to at least be about 60 inches tall. And it has grown very well. It seems very healthy, and we don't do anything special for it. I fed it during the growing season and have stopped feeding it during this later season. Now, some of the lower leaves have fallen off. I think we've lost 2 or 3 leaves, and this one I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen with it before we go ahead and take it off. But these leaves up here all seem very, very healthy. We've not pruned or pinched or anything, and it has branched. There's a spot right here where a branch has taken off, coming out this side, and then just a little farther up, right at the top, it's beginning to branch off separately also. Let me see if I can get around. I don't know how closely you can see that, but it looks like it's starting to branch right there. But the leaves are real sturdy. I did have a little bit of like fine, I don't even know what you would call it, like a little mark on the veinings, little blushed pink marks, but they said that was just from fast growing when I researched on the internet to see what that was. But it hasn't affected the plant at all, and I'm really pleased with how this one looks. So we have it up here in front of this window right now, sitting on the ledge, not on the floor. Let me back up a little so you can see the height. And I've shown this on a few videos. Now I think it's going to get a little too high. If it keeps growing the same amount, it's going to get a little too high to set there. So we may be having to change that to a floor plant, and then we'll see what happens. But that's our fiddle leaf fig. Easy to care for. Just water it when it gets really dry, and you're good. Now this is one of my largest plants, the split leaf philodendron. It's the Monstera deliciosa, and it's not really a philodendron. Not sure why it's called that, maybe just because it has the almost viney type growth habit with the heart-shaped leaf like a regular philodendron does. But it's not really in the philodendron family. Now, we've had this one also about 8 months. We got it the same time as we did the fiddle leaf fig, and it's gotten huge. I think the leaves, as they get larger, that's when they develop their little split that goes back toward that central vein. So we've got quite a few with the split. And it's done real well. We have it in a west-facing window. That is the setting sun out that way. Not now, since it's early in the morning, but you can see that the amount of light it gets, it still casts a decent shadow on the wall. So that appears to be enough light for this. Now it does tend to lean out and grow toward the window. Let me back off this way. You can see where it tries to lean toward the window. We've not tied it up or anything. We did, when we potted it, put a pole in there, but I really didn't see any way to tie it without pulling it and maybe breaking a branch, so I didn't want to do that. But this one has done really, really well. We have it in a really large planter, and don't ever expect to have to repot it, because that one's, I'm not real sure, 10 gallon. I may have said that on one of my other posts about this one, but this has become a huge, huge plant. But I like it in the dining room. We just have it at the edge. Oh, I'm getting back and it's getting a little too dark to see it. But I really like it over here. It's grown very, very well. And it loses leaves occasionally. You'll see one kind of the tips will darken or lighten. And you'll know it's either time to water, or you may have put just a little bit too much water last time. But it seems to use a lot of water, because when we transplanted it, there are tons of thick, ropey roots down in there. But this is a nice plant, easy to care for. Just set it in the corner and it just grows. Now this plant is my red Chinese evergreen. It's the red aglaonema. And again, we've had this since last summer, and it is just such a pretty color. It's very vivid pink, almost red, and the colors just, I don't know, they just kind of glow under the light of a lamp. It can be set anywhere because it can take some bright light, but then also some medium light, and it just keeps growing. Now you can see we've got a lot of new growth on this one that has just popped out recently. New leaves. I think there's another one coming in there, but it just continues to grow. And it grows up from the bottom, so to propagate it, I would just have to dig and pull and separate some of those stems. See how many there are now? So I could have a lot of plants from just this one. But this is a really pretty plant. You can almost ignore it. It can go weeks without watering. So if you're out of town, on vacation, etc., you don't have to worry about it. But it is a gorgeous plant. Let me see if I can get some more color views on this side. Yeah, look how deep green that one is, how pale green underneath. But it is just gorgeous. I know you'd love that one. Now, several times I've showed the flowering maple, the abutilon, and I just have loved this all season long. It bloomed all last summer, and we brought it in, and it's bloomed all winter. Right now it's just ending a big flush of flowers. They just come at the end of each of the stems and just bloom out. They're so pretty, and I have this also in the east window, and in the morning sun they just look beautiful. Now they'll detach. Let me see if I can grab this one. You can see how this one is in the midst of detaching itself, and they'll fall. You can see how that one's fallen to the ground. There's one over here also that's fallen off, but they just keep coming. The buds just form and they keep coming, and then all of a sudden you'll realize it's done. But it doesn't take long for them to start up again, and you have another bunch. Let me pull this one out of the buds are so pretty. See if I can get that turned around. They're just gorgeous in bud. But I really like this, and when it finishes this flush of bloom, I am going to cut a lot of pieces off because this roots easily, and I want to have several ones that I can put outside. Now I may keep this mother plant inside because I don't want to have her outside and then fight fungus gnats again next winter. But she has branched pretty well from my other cuttings and rooted very, very easily. So I intend to do that again for the springtime. But the flowering maple is gorgeous. It's not expensive, and around here in Ohio, it's really easy to find. Now I do have her in pretty much of a peaty soil with drainage, and I just pour usually about, when she feels dry, I pour about almost 2 quarts of water in there. And she'll show you when she's getting dry. I think I had mentioned that in some other videos. You'll see that her little leaves start to droop a little and hang down, and you'll know to put water in her. So she's easy, and you get such rewarding blooms from her. Now this plant is my golden pothos, and I've had it here on the dining room table for a long time, and it has grown very, very much. I think its scientific name Epipremnum aureum, and mine has its golden portions come and gone. You can see a lot more gold on that one than on some of these inner leaves. But I have mostly kept it right here on the dining room table. Now a lot of time we have the lights on, and that gives it the extra light, but mostly it gets the light from that window. But this is an easy to grow plant. It's called devil's ivy because, as I understand, when you grow it out in the wild, in a place that's, it can be outside all year, it can just go insane and grow all over. The leaves get large, huge, and just can trail down from balconies. I've seen pictures on the internet, and I'm sure you have too, of the ones that hang down from the balconies and are, 20 feet long. But this is a really pretty plant, grows quickly. It even can grow in very, very dark or dim places. You just might see the leaves will be more sparse along the vines. But if you keep snipping, it'll keep trying to put out more new branches. So that can keep it really bushy, even if it's not in a lot of light. But this is so easy to grow, and I have quite a few of them in the house. I'll show you more of those too. But it's a pretty plant. You just water it when it gets dry. I have mine in a little ball-shaped planter with drainage, so I usually carry it into the sink and just douse it until it's completely soaked, and then bring it back here once it's dripped through. But this one's so easy to take care of. Most of the time, it'll be when I happen to glance and see, oh, it looks a little droopy, I need to water it. That's when I'll take it and water it. But this is one of my most favorite plants. Now here is another golden pothos I have over on the floor on the opposite side of this same room. Like I said, I have a lot of those plants because I love them. But they are so easy. If you can't grow anything else, you can grow a golden pothos. There's one here on the piano. And here's another one up on top of the cabinets. Love these plants. I have to get a stool and get up there and water them, but they just obligingly grow and keep on keeping on. Nothing have to do with them, but just water them occasionally, feed them in the growing season. Well, thanks for joining me today. I'll try not to get my glasses to glare, but those are my 5 most favorite and easiest houseplants that I like to use. I think they've grown very well for me. They may be different for you, because I know everyone has their favorites and maybe the conditions are just different for you. But I like these houseplants, and I do have several which I consider divas, and I'm looking at you, Fatonia, that I want to put in another video. The ones that I think are so hard to take care of. But we'll have that in a future video. So if you like the video, please hit the thumbs up button or the like button and subscribe for more videos in the future. Thanks for joining me today. See you next video.